Rogers TV. This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Thanks for tuning in today. We're watching A Conversation with Karen. We are on location today in Kincardine. Anybody who doesn't know where Kincardine is, because this is on YouTube, we're on the shores of Lake Huron, and boy, did we get some of that winter weather. It is blowing like crazy today. This is where all the roads are closed. Happens all the time. I think it's -7 or -8 right now, so it's really cold. Where I am right now is at the drop-in at the bridge.
Perfect.
Isn't that what it is?
That's what it is.
You got there. And this is Wes Larson. He is Executive Director at the drop-in at the bridge. Welcome, Wes.
Well, thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, we didn't even know this place was here. It's tucked in the right downtown Kincardine. And I've walked back past it so many times and kept meaning to stop in to see what it was all about. Wes is going to tell us, but first we have a video. This is the easiest way to start. We have a video that's on their website, but we're going to show it now just so you can get an idea of what this is all about. Okay, so let her roll.
My name is Sharon Johnson, and I've been coming from day one. I actually found out about it when Wes came to our community meal and started spreading brochures, and people asked me, "What's this all about?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, but it sounds like a good idea."
A few years ago, I got to meet Chris Higginson. As we got talking about stuff, I told him about this dream that I had. In a small town like this, we needed this kind of thing. We needed a drop-in center, but there wasn't one. There was two things I knew we needed. One was a little bit of money, but mostly we needed the volunteers. Without them, it wasn't going to happen.
I'm Wilma Static, and I have been coming to the bridge since it opened.
I'm Jennifer Morin. I actually started as a patriot. Now I organize the meals, help with food prep.
I just help out any way I can because I think people should do that.
Humanity has sometimes lost its sense. So being able to give back to anybody and everybody has been rewarding in itself.
And I really like coming because I enjoy the people.
My name is John Van Erp.
My name is Randy Smith.
My name is Jackie McDonald.
My name is Catherine Benjamin. I always look forward to coming here. Look forward to the meals, meeting new friends. The people are awesome here. I really like them.
I enjoy the companionship and and nice lunches too.
See my friends playing games, card games, Scrabble.
Coming and seeing my friends play games, cards. The people are friendly.
I think it's good that it's downtown because people can walk here.
More accessible for everybody. It's more of a general location for everybody.
There's a lot more people could come. We just have to get the word out. Most times I come, it's a busy little place in here.
So day one, they started with, I think, 4 patriots, and now we're seeing anywhere between 20 to 30 patriots.
And it's everybody's happy. Everybody's doing something they like, mixing and mingling with other people, and we need that in town.
It's a gathering place for people that like to socialize and get a free meal and just enjoy playing games or just visiting.
I'd love to be able to be open more days. Right now, we're open on Mondays from 10 till 2, and that's really open for anybody.
It's a welcoming space for anybody and everybody, the young at heart to the young in general.
Hello, my name is Joy Morin. I am 10 years old. I like to play Scrabble with some of my friends here. I like to draw and give away pictures, and most of all, I like being here because I like how it's so friendly.
The more they open it up to older people and teenagers.
On Wednesdays, we are open for teens, and that's from 11:30 till 1 o'clock.
We don't have enough in town here for high school kids to do.
They just want to be able to hang out, a place to hang out.
Those are the ones in our area that we need to find more things for them to do. Because number one, the seniors are lonely.
My wife passed away, and I'd seen the sign, and then I went by.
The people, they love coming. They need a place to come.
It is community for them. For many of the people that come here, it is just about the only community they really have. They can be themselves. They don't have to worry about that. They're with people who love them just for who they are.
I just love being with the people. Like, they're just amazing.
I think it's a good service. It's a super, super good service.
I've got to know these people, and they're great. And it's been for me, it's a blessing, not just for them, but for me personally. I love it. It is my family. I can't give you what you want, but I can walk with you while you get it. And that's what I'll do.
Thank you, Chris. You guys rock.
Okay. Wasn't that a great video? If you've never been to the website, you got to check it out because there's so much more on the website. You'll be surprised at just how much we do here. Now, Wes, he's the executive director. Well, how did you get into doing something like this? Did you have a background in this?
Well, not really. When I first moved up here, probably about 15 years ago, I kind of noticed that we didn't have a drop-in particular for seniors. My heart was around seniors. I knew that there was a lot of people retired up here, so started doing some research in that. To be honest, I wasn't thinking that this would be something I would do. I just thought somebody should do it.
Good thinking.
Yeah, but as we got closer, as I started talking to some people about it, a friend of mine just said, "Hey, Wes, why don't you do this?" And I thought, you know what? Why not?
Well, it's got to get started somehow.
I created a business plan. Yes, I created a business plan, and there was about a 20-page business plan. Did a lot of research, and like I said to you before, I really was only thinking of opening up seniors. Yeah, and so our first one, which was a Monday drop-in, was for seniors. Our very first, I wish I had the picture here actually. We had more volunteers than we had guests. I think we had 4 guests and about 6 volunteers.
That's good.
And we sat around over here, literally there was like 3 tables we put together and we sat around it, and it was amazing, to be honest, that we even had 4 people, because I was like, we hadn't actually even advertised it, but there they were. So yeah, that was literally our start 6.5 years ago.
Now, did you have a background in this, or it was just something you thought of?
No, I had done some volunteering at other charities and that, but it was really more just this passion I had. Came out of the business world, retired when I was 50, was looking at other things. I did do a lot of volunteering in Toronto, and I've run a lot of things. From the business perspective,
just an organizing kind of person.
Yeah. So and I'm much more. I'm pretty good at creating. I'm not so great at the detailed stuff, and that's why we have lots of great volunteers. To be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it makes a difference. Volunteers. Unfortunately, volunteers, they're hard to get, and you can burn them out real easy.
You're absolutely right about that.
They burn
absolutely.
Out. If you don't have enough volunteers, they use them over and over and over. I know myself because I've been a volunteer in so many different areas, and it's true, you get burnt out.
Yes, you do.
And being someone that's always looking for volunteers for some of the things I do, it is very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you're not originally from this area. You said you came here 15 years ago.
Yes, I was living in Toronto at the time. I've lived number of big cities. I grew up in the country. When it came time to get out to the work world, as many of us do, I moved to the city and started working and really have been in the city. I never saw myself coming back to the country, but lo and behold, up I came and I fell in love with this place. I mean, I'd never been up here before, and really fell in love with the lake and just the lifestyle of the summer. I'm learning about the winter, of course. We continue to learn about the winter.
Oh yes, Bruce County winter.
Yes.
I didn't even know what snow squall meant until I moved up here. I don't think I ever heard of the word snow squall.
Well, it was funny because I remember my first year, one of the people I had got to meet has become really good friends, but he said to me, watch out for that horizontal snow. And I thought he was joking, but he's not.
No. I've never seen, I was saying, I'm from the Hamilton area,
Right.
and we got snow. I never remember roads being closed, ever.
No,
And
it
up
only
here?
happens up here.
Yeah, and it'll be closed for days at a time.
Oh, yes.
I know where I work, some of the girls, the PSWs, they're coming from just somewhere like Glamis, which isn't that far away
No.
from here. And they're there for 5 days straight. We set up mattresses
Because
and extra rooms.
Yeah, because you can't leave.
Yeah, they can't leave a job
No.
like that, and you can't
No.
close a
No,
retirement home. So,
no.
How many volunteers do you have right now?
We have probably close to about 80 volunteers.
You know, that's pretty darn good. That's a lot of volunteers.
It is.
That's really well.
We have 9 programs.
Yeah.
And what I love with our volunteers is just their dedication to want to continue to volunteer.
Yeah.
And then talking about that burnout, what we always strive is that if I can just get 1 day a month from you,
Yeah.
that's all I ask. If you want to do more, you can, but certainly without volunteers, this thing won't work. So you need them, and you need people to be excited about what they're doing, and that's also an important thing. Our volunteers are critical to what's going on, so you have to listen to them and what they're saying, because they know better than I will ever know about what the day-to-day happens
And the
are.
range, age, and just the type of people you get in for volunteers, because of the range of people you
Right.
get in here, having a broad range of people with their various skills
Yep,
or just their personalities
right,
is great for a place like this, because when you see the video, you see all the different people that
yes,
are here.
yep,
It's such a big range. You'll see young people, you'll see older people, you'll see people with needs. So, and those are hard volunteers to get
yes,
when you have like that. I
Yep.
know myself looking for volunteers to help with the elderly. Young people are intimidated, I
yep,
think, by the
yep,
elderly. So
absolutely.
you don't get a lot of people that will volunteer for things like that, unless they've got, a grandparent or great-grandparent that is in the facility or is involved.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, there is so much that goes on here that you don't realize. First of all, you're open all year.
Yep.
Because it's a wonderful sweltering -8 outside, which is pretty. That's pretty warm. It's supposed to be getting a lot colder. The wind chill is a lot worse.
Yes,
than
it
that.
is. It
Yeah,
is.
and so how long have you been here?
So we started 6.5 years ago.
6.5.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
That's it.
it's gone flying. It's literally flown by.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest. And when we first started, like I said, it was just Mondays. It didn't take long, and we had really progressed through. And today we are open. The only days that we really aren't doing anything here is Wednesdays. to be
Wednesdays.
honest. Yeah.
Yeah, because even today, there were people here when I got here today, and you close at noon,
Yeah.
like to get ready for. Now, is there anything going on tonight, or are you open at night?
So on Friday nights we are open at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Because we actually rent from the church usually has things here on Tuesday evening and Wednesday evening, so
Yeah.
you can anything there. And of course on Sunday. The rest of the days we pretty well we've pretty well filled up.
Oh, it's amazing. Now, some of the volunteers, do you ask for any kind of qualifications, or it's just if you're available?
Well, the only thing that we have is one is your availability, and because we have so many programs, I will sit down with you and kind of go over things and find out what are some of the things that you like doing.
Yeah.
So if you like cooking, great, because we could always use people cooking.
We'll get into that later.
But maybe your skill set is serving people or playing games with people.
Yeah.
Then I go, hey, you know what, Monday or Saturday would be great for you then.
Yeah.
So we do that. The criteria we do need is they have a police check done, and
Yep.
it's a free police check. And then of course, if you are cooking or some of the other skill sets, then we ask that you get the certificates that you need. Yeah. But other than that, we're pretty open. And also just one of the things that I love about this place is as people get comfortable with it, our guests coming in and that, a number of them end up becoming volunteers.
Yeah.
And so what's great about that is you already know them, but they already know what you're doing. And that really, that helps a lot. And they're usually pretty dedicated.
Yeah, what I was noticing when I watched the video, I was telling Wes, I see people in here that I've seen in town at different functions, And I didn't know who they were. And you don't really know much about them. But seeing them in here, say, oh, yeah, I know that person.
Right.
Well, these people will come together and get to know that person that they've seen in town. Or it could be a lot of people here I know have lived here their whole lives.
Right.
And it's a chance for them to get together because they start to.
Exactly. Exactly.
We got some volunteers here today. We got a few volunteers here. You want to say hello over here? There's one of our volunteers. There's another one. They're doing work here, cleaning. Some of the other volunteers have left, but they're here. And we also have a, where is he?
Oh, Blossom.
We have
More Blossom.
we have a dog here, and she's an absolute sweetheart, and she's so good with the kids. It's just amazing. I couldn't believe it when I got here. She went over to a little baby that was on the floor and started licking her face, and the little girl was, hanging on to her. So if they like dogs, that's a great little asset to have a dog there.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Absolutely.
Now, you got this program. It's called Beans and Banter.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Okay, Beans and Banter. So on Thursdays is our teen day. And what I mean by that is we start off a lunch on Thursday for the high school teens. We get about 40 to 50 kids coming in.
That's amazing.
I always say it's like a horde of locusts. They come in, they eat everything in sight, and then they leave.
Yeah.
They literally have about half an hour here. But they get everything from pizza to chili dogs to wraps. It's a great place, and for them, we started that really 6 years ago, and we've always filled.
Yeah, I'm surprised so many would come in. Of course, being the size of the town that we're in here in Kincardine, there aren't a lot of places to go.
No.
And high school is not that far from here.
No, it's about a 15-minute walk.
Yeah, and if they're coming, especially in the winter, it's a great time to come in the winter, or even in the summer when it's too hot outside.
It's a great place. They
great.
come and enjoy it. All high school grades are here being represented, and they totally enjoy it. The Beans and Banter came out of that, and what we want to do was an after-school program, and we wanted a place that just as a hangout for the teens, a cafe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they had homework, because once again, when you have volunteers, you get all sorts of different skill sets, etc. We have a number of retired teachers who volunteer here, and so they volunteer, have helped set this up with us, and they're here in case any of the teens need homework help or whatever.
Good idea.
So they come in. We do get kids who come in just like, especially around exam time, where they're having some problems with certain, and they'll phone us up just to find out, well, when is I need this help, when can I come in, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of that, but we also have a latte making machine, which we bought just for the Beans and Banter, that we're doing free lattes for the kids. It's so technically challenging. My understanding is that our volunteers won't let me touch it. So
I know that feeling. I should actually come in so the kids can show me what to do, because I don't know a darn thing about. I'm one of these generations where you didn't grow up with computers.
No.
Especially not even computers now. It's all this. Everything else. I don't know.
All this technology.
Yeah,
I know
you
what
just
you mean.
ask the kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
they know it
program
all.
your TV. I couldn't get my TV working, and the guy came to fix my phone. And I said, "Can you fix my TV too?" Yeah, you got it going, no problem.
Oh,
so it's good that kids will come in and do that. I'm actually surprised that the kids would come down. I guess if there's a group of them.
I think, what you will find is you do get individuals coming in, but you also get groups if they're working on a project, or but if they're looking for specific homework help, they'll come down by themselves.
That's a good idea. That's really good.
But if they are working on a project, they come in here and sit at one of the long tables and do their thing. Maybe they just want to just relax before going home, or whatever it might be.
I imagine there are some kids too that would like to talk to people other than their peers.
Yep. And you get a lot of that as well. The other thing we do is resumes. We help with resumes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, it's a skill set that for some of these kids, they've never had that, So we do have a person that actually does resumes.
That's good.
And they can sit down with them, and they can explain it to them and help them through it as they go through it.
So, and when you're, this is good to be showing this, because there could be somebody out there with those skill sets that think they could help and will volunteer to do that
Absolutely.
sort of thing. Because let's face it, kids today, it's a different generation than when we grew up.
Absolutely.
They're so different this way.
Yeah.
When we were kids, I mean, we didn't have anything like that. Just our teachers.
Yeah.
You didn't have places where you could go.
There wasn't a lot of resources.
No, you're absolutely right. There wasn't. So it's good that they do that. So they'll come here. Now the lunches, are they free?
Yes, everything that we do here is free.
Free.
For
Everything's
everybody.
free.
Yes. Donations are always welcome, but not necessary.
Donations would be wonderful, especially when you are feeding people here. When I got here this morning, there was a little family here with 3 kids, I think.
Right.
And they were just over there playing games, but it was a family all together. And they were enjoying themselves. And I guess they enjoyed Blossom because Blossom was around here the whole time. And it was just a matter of getting together. I mean, like I said, sometimes when all the kids are at home, all they do is fight. But in a place like this, they've all got different things they can do.
Absolutely.
New toys, because let's face it, new things will be. And they have all kinds of toys here, games, not toys so much, but games, which are good because that is something good for kids too, young kids. Because a lot of times they're playing toys, but not a game where they're learning cognitive skills.
Exactly.
And that's the idea of that. And I think with having older people, like not that much older, even some of the high school kids, I would imagine, could teach some of these kids a little something, some new games.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that I always find Saturdays in particular is a time where we call it board games, board and card games.
Yeah.
But it's totally open to anybody, and we get everybody from young kids with their parents or maybe grandparents.
Yeah.
We get teens coming in. We got the adults coming in, and there's a lot of mixing and matching going on.
Yeah.
And it is interesting watching. Somebody will be playing a game. Go on.
There's another volunteer.
Hey, Ronan.
Volunteer and training, basically.
Volunteer and training. There you go.
Yeah. So what we do is, there's a lot of kind of going on, and what you'll find is somebody will see somebody playing a game and go, "Oh, what's that about?"
Yes.
And before you know it, they're playing with it as well, and and they're being shown how to play it, and so we get a lot of that.
Stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Now, something else I saw here. The Ukrainian families can come to connect.
Right.
What a perfect time for that to be happening.
Yeah, we were asked. So the families that had basically fled the war and that had come over to Canada, and for a number of them they had settled here in Kincardine area.
Yeah.
And so we were asked if we would be interested in opening up a drop-in for them, and we were like, yeah, absolutely. So every other Friday night, we've been doing this for a number of years now, and it's become really quite fun, and we're in the process now of opening up to other immigrant families from other countries coming in. Yes,
that's perfect, because we do have a lot of families that are coming from other countries. That we welcome all these different ones, but the fact that this Ukrainian thing, and I would imagine having the Ukrainian families that have fled coming here, and people that have Ukrainian in their background. Oh, perfect.
Exactly.
Because then they can learn about their country that their families came from, and just learn about what's going on with the war, so they can understand. Because if all you're going to see is the media, you're not getting the whole story. So it's good. You don't realize just how bad it is.
Oh, exactly.
Until you've talked to somebody, a refugee. So I think that's a wonderful idea. Now, what other countries were you thinking of, or just anybody that's come?
Just literally anybody that's come. We just want to open up the doors to allow anybody. And we've had discussions with the Ukrainian families. They've really been able to move on and really integrate into our community.
Which is good.
And that was part of the goal of what we were doing. So they loved still getting together, of course, but we talked, hey, what do you think? And they were like, absolutely, let's do that.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
So that's, we're just in the process of doing it now.
I pray for the Ukrainians all the time. It's just a sin what's going on, and the fact that people have fled the country. And where do you go? Canada welcomes everybody, so it's good. Now, you've got a group, offline group. I love this idea, because I'm not one for having a cell phone on me at all times. I'm very bad for that. I have to make sure it's charged half the time. It's dead. So explain your offline thing. I love this.
Sure. So once again, it's on the alternating Friday nights that our Ukrainian families are here. And the whole idea is you can come in and do whatever you would like to do. So we play games, card games, board games, knitting. Last week they had painting and doing all sorts of different things. But the whole idea is that you do not bring any electronics with you.
Perfect.
Unless you're Wes, and then by mistake, because I'm so used to having my cell phone, and there it is. But actually, it was kind of a bit of a joke because one of the other volunteers that was here, she said, we should get a picture. But we were like, well, can you really do a picture off of a phone because that's electronic? So,
That's right.
So do we have a jar that, when you do something like that, you have to put in?
Good idea. Good idea. Well, people don't use cameras like they used to.
No.
I know. And, it's crazy. At work, I wanted to go outside because I work night shift from overnight. And I'm looking all over for a flashlight.
Right.
And I said to my boss, why don't we have any flashlights here? And he picked up his phone and said, I got a flashlight right there.
Yeah.
Well, I never even thought of a flashlight on my phone because my phone is for phoning.
Right, exactly.
I don't think of it for everything else. So to have an offline, it's good because there are so many people that are addicted to those things. I can't believe it. I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about it is it's just that whole idea of being able to, as I say, step back into the 70s.
Yep.
And not really worry about it. For the most part, right now we've got mostly, I'm going to say seniors and maybe 50 something and above. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I do expect that there will be a time, because one of the things that's interesting, and I've been talking to my younger children about this. They're all in their 20s. Is they're getting tired of electronics. And I find that interesting. They're realizing that it just takes up way too much time.
Yeah.
And it's a distraction.
Yes, it absolutely is a distraction because you'll see people, even though they're sitting there, they're constantly looking at their phone to see what's going on. When you're talking to them, a lot of times you'll be talking to people and they've got their phone and
you're not really sure. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you don't know if they're listening to you or not, or looking at them.
Exactly.
But you know what I find with seniors, because I work with them, there are a lot of seniors that have a cell phone.
Oh, yes.
And there are a lot of seniors that have a laptop.
Yeah.
When I first started doing my activity job, don't remember. I mean, I've been there 19 years, but when we started, I said, how would you guys like to learn the computer? And they're, oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, now some of those people that I taught to get on the computer have their own laptop, and we have quizzes we do, a trivia type thing, and they look it up on the internet. And I think that's so wonderful that you have seniors that have cell phones and laptops. And that's amazing because we're talking some of these seniors are in their 80s. Right. I had one that was in her 90s and she was emailing her friends in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was great. So, I hate to say it, but our generation, as we're getting older, we're going to be using it. I can't imagine never having a computer.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Or a cell phone.
Yep.
When I got my first cell phone, it was a real big deal. I'm showing everybody, look at it, it's a cell phone. And I say, wow. So that was one of them. Now, a couple of other things you got going on here.
Yep.
The free food store. Okay. Right. Tell us about that.
Yes, that came out of just being able to help the food bank here in Kincardine. They are only able to be open one day a week. It's just the way it works with with the situation they have. And we wanted to be able to, because there are a lot of families that are challenged, and it was just becoming more and more difficult, especially if you're working, to be able to get out there, for that one day a week. So we thought, let's give people an alternative, and working with the food bank, what we do is we're open now on Saturday mornings and then also on Tuesday mornings.
Yeah, and this is also free.
Yes, it's all free.
Just so everyone knows, it is free, yeah.
And we're working with No Frills, and basically it's food rescue. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we get frozen meat, we get dairy and produce. The produce we make into meals, frozen meals. And the meat and the dairy are here for our food store as well. Yeah. So people can actually come in and shop and pick up the meat, the dairy, as well as frozen.
So it's here. See,
Yes.
I was wondering about that when somebody would do, like when you got your supplies, if they have to go to the food bank to get it, or
No,
whether they can get it
They
here.
get it right here.
Right here.
And that way then, it gives them the alternative of the Saturday and the Tuesday, as well as obviously Thursday at the food bank. They won't, like if the paper products and canned goods and things like that, we won't carry. They'll be able to get that at the food bank, but we'll have the main, the other products.
But you do meals here too, so
Yes.
some of this is good for some of your meals here. You have some nice hot. I saw some of the pictures, and they look like they're pretty yard meals.
They are very good. We're very blessed, as I say, because we have a number of cooks and chefs who have volunteered with us, and they make some phenomenal meals. And in fact, last year we did about 9,000 meals that we free. So it's just one of the many things that we do, and that's just pretty well every drop-in that we have here. We have meals with it, associated with it.
And I did talk to Wes about this earlier, and they all have food safe qualifications.
Yes.
They've all done that, which is good to know because a lot of people are very leery about eating meals somewhere else where they don't know.
Yep.
But when you have your food safe, which is a wonderful thing to have, when you're feeding a lot of people,
yes,
that everything is.
Yes, and it is something that we've been doing. We've done from the very beginning. Yeah.
It's great that because there are so many people that love to cook, and they maybe don't have people to cook for.
Yes.
Like you have a husband or a wife because they're able to cook, and so this is a really good idea. And now, are there basic things that they do, like stews, things like that? Like you said, pizza.
Yeah.
So do they make the pizzas?
No, we actually get that through Godfather's Pizza, who have been really good sponsor for us.
Oh, good.
We get a really good discount from them for getting pizzas. So we do pizza. We do pizza day for Mondays and on Thursdays with the team lunch. We do that once a month, and of course everybody loves it.
Oh yeah, everybody loves
but
pizza.
during the rest of the time, so for our Monday meals, we usually have soups or stew with sandwiches. In the summer, we'll do salad and sandwiches, or maybe wraps, something like that. We also do a barbecue during the summer.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Good idea.
For our teen lunch, they love like chili dogs or mac and cheese, and some of the basic stuff. Yeah. And so we'll do wraps as well. But yeah, they love that basic stuff that we do. Saturdays, we always do pizza. Actually, on Saturdays, it's become a sort of a favorite. And then on the Friday nights, we mostly the Ukrainian nights. They usually bring in their own food, and because they want to feed us as volunteers, it's like the other way around. But they totally love baking and bringing in food, and of course. Many of the foods that they bring in, maybe we've never had before either.
Yeah,
so it's become a lot of sharing, and it's been a lot of fun. One of the things I love about Drop-In is this whole idea of community, and everybody kind of takes ownership of that, whether you're a guest coming in or whether you're a volunteer, and it becomes a lot of fun watching all of that happen.
Yeah, just from watching the video, I could see that everybody was really enjoying themselves, and some of them were sitting there real intent listening to other people talk.
Yes.
So you can see that everybody's engaged doing something. They're not just sitting here.
Exactly.
They're either listening to somebody or they're involved in something, but you can tell they really want to be here. Like they're really enjoying themselves, or they wouldn't keep coming back.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a great place to come in the winter, like today, if they're out there. And it's terrible to think. We talked about this. It's terrible to think that there are homeless in this town, or people that are in need.
Yeah, we're close. We're just doing an interview.
Oh, okay. There are people in need. You don't realize because, like I said, this is a small town, but we have our big Bruce Power here, and you just don't expect that in a town where there's so many people employed at Bruce Power, which is well-paying jobs.
Right.
So it's hard to believe, but it happens. I have interviewed the food bank before, and I'm amazed at how many people will use the food bank for necessity.
Yeah.
it's unfortunate there are people that are too proud.
Yes.
That is a shame because they don't want other people knowing, and
Right.
they just don't like the idea. But yeah, I mean, if you need it, it's there, use it.
Yes, and I think one of the challenges, I mean, it's always hard, especially if you look at what's happened since the pandemic, and I mean, we have what is called a living wage, which is different than the minimum wage, but that keeps growing, and the difference between the two, the gulf continues to grow, and families that maybe 4 or 5 years ago were okay aren't okay today.
Yeah.
And it is hard. It's hard to think, yeah, but am I doing something wrong? No, this is unfortunately the way life is, and if you need help, yes, you should come in, and it's all right.
Because a lot of those families maybe don't have the means to get to other towns that might have a deal.
Exactly.
Or even in town here. They don't have the resources to get to these places. So, yeah, it's a shame. Now, you have the frozen meal deliveries.
Yes.
Which is
a little different, yes, than our food store. Actually, the frozen meal delivery started during the pandemic. And the reason is I happened to notice an ad one day that said that if you could that you could deliver meals basically, from restaurants. And I thought, oh, what a great idea, because my worry was during the lockdowns, what's happening with our seniors and that were coming to drop in. And I want to stay in touch with them. So I phoned up, first I phoned up the health unit to make sure that we were okay with it, because we weren't really set up to do this because we're going to have to be doing it out of our homes because you couldn't get together to cook.
That's right. Yeah.
So they were okay with it because when I explained what I want to do. And the primary purpose for me was we would make meals, I would deliver them, and I would be able to sit or stand and talk to each one of the seniors at the doors as I was delivering the meals.
Which is great for them being in isolation.
Yes, and I want to make sure it was literally a wellness check. I just wanted to make sure they were okay, and if there were any problems, we could help them out. So we started doing that during the pandemic, and we just continued on. We've added more people. Primarily, our frozen meals go out to singles who are challenged either physically or financially to be able to support themselves.
Yeah.
And we will give them 3 entrees and a soup each week. And now if they need more, okay. And it was really out of that we started to realize that the families were also having problems, but we couldn't really help families. We were limited in the amount of food we could actually give out because we were limited with the number of volunteers.
It's all donation too.
Yeah, and so that's when I started looking at the food store idea concept, which I thought, okay, we can do that, and then we out of that we also cook with the produce we cook to make frozen meals that then people coming in here can pick up and take with them.
There are a lot of seniors that are still living on their own because we have a few apartment buildings in town here where they're just for seniors. Because when they can't live at home anymore, that's when they end up in a retirement home.
Right.
But there are still a lot that are at home taking care of themselves, and they may not have family that can come in and check in on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially during COVID, because everybody was, there wasn't a car on the road. I remember the first few days of COVID, I would drive to Port Elgin and I'd be the only car on the road, and I felt guilty about being out.
Right.
But I had to. So that's a good idea to have frozen meal deliveries, something like that. It's so many people need it.
Oh yeah, no, it helps. And it's just great to be able to stand and talk or sit and talk with people that are, maybe they don't get to, they may not have family, or they may just be by themselves most of the week. And so
and you're probably there for a good while because they like to talk.
It can be a pretty long evening, let's put it that way. But it's certainly well worthwhile. I love it. I love being able to just listen to the stories and that's something that's so much fun with seniors. The stories they tell you. Oh yes, they're great.
It's amazing the stuff they can tell you. I know, just working from where I work, I'm getting all these stories, and I'm thinking, what do you mean you didn't have a toilet or running water? Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, okay, just to give us a drink. Okay, we'll be right back. Don't go away. We usually break half.
Sports is life. It's clear cut. Everything's out in the open. There's nowhere to hide. I had to prove myself more than anyone else.
You must be so proud of your son. He's gonna go pro. The sky's the limit.
There's always a winner and a loser.
You cannot reach the sky in broken cleats.
Of course, I always want to be the winner. And I did reach the sky.
Norman Kwong, the first Chinese-Canadian professional football player, still holds records to this day. He retired from the sport in 1960 and later became Lieutenant Governor of Alberta.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV. Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Very informative, I've got to say, and I hope people will watch this and think about coming here. Either visit, play some games, volunteer, donate. We have another program that they do, which I thought was great. It was holiday meals. Tell us about those holiday meals, because the holidays are a tough time for a lot of people, especially seniors or people that are single.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, we started holiday meals really our first year, and it was literally around that. It was because, there are people who are single and just don't have anywhere to go, or also even, couples who might have moved up here but don't know anybody, or maybe they're too far away from home to even be able to get back there.
Especially with our weather.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of times you just can't get out.
And so we started the holiday meal with the idea that, hey, well, let's get together. And we did it here in the beginning, but we quickly outgrew here. And the choice became, so we can hold about 40 people here.
Yeah, it's a fair-sized room. 40 people, I could see you holding about that.
So we thought, well, we could maybe do 2 shifts, but I really didn't want to get into that. So I talked to the pastor of the church up on, it's the Kincardine Baptist Church. They have a huge basement and they can hold about 120 people, big kitchen. And I thought, you know what, it would be really cool if we could move up there. So they allow us to have that for our holiday meals, and it's rent-free, which is really nice. So we do holiday meals at Christmas time, Thanksgiving, and Easter. And once again, it's all free. And we have about 40 volunteers that help out, everything from doing the shopping the day before or day of even, and to the cooking. We have a phenomenal cook who makes the most mouth-watering turkey I have ever had in my life.
That helps.
He does a great job. And then we, with all the other volunteers and prepping and all of that. So we serve about anywhere from 100 to 120 people for each one of these meals.
That's quite a bit. Now, do you have it on the day, like on Christmas Day and on Thanksgiving, or do you have to?
We get as close as we can to the day, and usually we and part of that is with the volunteers, just so that they can have time with their family.
Yeah.
And when we first started, we did do it. I believe it was the first one was, I want to say it was Thanksgiving. And we did it on Thanksgiving Day, but it was very difficult for the volunteers because they could only be here for part of it. And so it was a bit rushed. And so we thought, you know what, let's not do that anymore. So we moved away from that. But we try to get it as close as possible to it.
So you don't just have the cooks on those days. You've got the people that are serving, clean up.
Yep.
So it's
setting up the whole bit.
Even if you're not a cook, or you can at least come to help with all. Yeah, you're right. Setup is a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the cleanup after has got to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just serving everybody.
It is. And we actually we have shifts. So we actually have 4 different shifts. You start for those who want to volunteer for cleanup, for those who want to volunteer for serving, for those who want to volunteer for the prep and cooking, and then also, of course, the cleanup at the end, which is never the fun job. But
No, it's not, but it's got to be done.
Yeah, and the thing that I love also is a lot of our volunteers, they will stay and sit and chat with people who are there.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing too, because not always do you know anybody when you come in, and we try to make everybody feel at home. So we will sit down and just chat with you and introduce you to other people who are here.
Yeah.
And so that you feel part of the community.
Yeah.
We play some games. One of our, in fact, the volunteer who just left here, she kind of coordinates all of this for us.
Oh, yeah.
And she loves doing games and just to get everybody kind of actively going until the meal gets served and all of that, and then afterwards as well. So people kind of hang around for a bit and just kind of really enjoy each other's company. And once again, like I said, it's all free. This year we were very fortunate. No Frills actually donated our turkeys, the 4 turkeys.
That's great.
Typically, this meal will cost us over $1,000.
I wouldn't be surprised because it's not a cheap.
It's not a cheap meal at all. No. So this year our turkeys were, and then the hams actually came from a local farmer who had them butchered and then donated the hams to us.
Gosh.
So we were like, I couldn't believe it. I think like I said, typically it's over $1,000. I think this year it was about $300 for our Christmas meal, which is pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, to be feeding that many people. The other thing about them coming, they'll meet people that maybe have the same interests.
Yep.
And they're kind of like networking.
Yep.
Because,
absolutely.
especially somebody that's new to town or newly single even.
Yep.
Because when you're married, you have the same interests. And
exactly.
This way they get to talk to other people with different interests and hobbies.
Yes, and you start to form groups with people even outside of drop-in where they just become friends that they meet for coffee, etc.
Yeah.
And it
card groups, like I say, euchre is a big thing. I know that from the seniors. They all play euchre.
Yep.
And they're always looking for people to play euchre with.
Exactly.
They don't always have them.
Yep.
Now, something I had asked you about too was tourists, because this is a very tourist town. For anybody that doesn't know Kincardine, it's a tourist town because we're right on the lake. And I was asking Wes if many tourists would come in here. Like it's hard to think that they would. I mean, they're usually coming here with a bunch of people.
Right.
So for them to come to stop in. So what kind of people come in to do that?
Oh yeah, we do get tourists, especially on our Saturday drop in. They'll come in. The first time they might just kind of put their head through, see what's going on.
Yeah.
And we'll sit, hey, come on in, have something, coffee or whatever. And before you know it, what'll happen is they'll, oh, you know what? My kids are out there with my wife right now. Can I go get them and bring them in? And because they liked it, right? And that usually what happens. They'll end up playing a game. Maybe they'll play snakes and ladders or chess or checkers, and sit for a couple of hours.
Yeah, because kids will get bored sometimes. They're here with their family. Like, what else am I going to do? If it's a rainy day, they can't go swimming.
Yep.
That's
right.
So it would be good because there are days like that, and you're all stuck in a trailer or tent.
Yep.
And what do you do? So something like this would be good for camping people.
It's just a way to, it's a great way to break up the day, and you get to meet some other people as well.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be coming back all the time. And I know that's what happens. I've spoken to a lot of people who come here every year.
Yeah.
So they get to know. And the nice thing about that is because it's a networking for you to get volunteers, to get donations, because it's run all by donations. It's nonprofit. So it's not like they're here making a ton of money.
No.
No. Now, some of the sponsors I know, you got Dairy Queen,
right.
Bruce Power, which is wonderful because Bruce Power, they are so good to the community.
Right.
They are just wonderful. The municipality of Kincardine, Framatome, New Orleans Pizza, and the community, I didn't write it down because I was going to print it.
Yeah, the Bruce Gray community.
So there's some really good sponsors there. I mean, we've got some wonderful, like I say, Bruce Power, they sponsor everything. They are so good to the community. And it's almost like back home where I was, everybody knew somebody that worked at one of the steel plants.
Right.
Up here, you know somebody that works at Bruce Power.
Exactly.
It's a big thing here.
Yeah.
Now you've got something coming up. Share the love.
Yes, share the love.
This is your first year doing that, or
no? This is our third year.
Third year. Okay, tell us about that.
Yes. So basically, the share the love came out of we wanted to do something around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And of course, share the love makes sense. That's become our event name, the name of our event. And we do that, basically the Saturday right around Valentine's Day.
Yes, because Valentine's on a Friday this year.
Yes, exactly. So we're the following day on the Saturday. And it's really our major fundraising event of the year. Tickets are $100 or $125 each, or a table of 8 for $800. The first 2 years it has sold out, and I expect it will happen again this year.
Good.
We have entertainment. So this time we have some jazz singers. Each time we've had somebody different that come in, and this year we have 2 jazz players and singers. And then the meal is done. So we have a local chef, Chef Alex, actually, and he is chef over at George's.
I've heard of him.
And also at West Coast Catering. He owns that. Anyways, he loves what we're doing, and he has always basically partially sponsored the meal with us. I'm always amazed at the pricing he comes up with to help us out. It's pretty amazing. And he actually cooks for it. So this year it's going to be an Italian meal, and sort of in the theme of That's Amore.
That's Amore.
Yes, and so he'll be doing an Italian meal. We have a great time. All the money raised will go to help drop in at the bridge, and we get sponsors from Bruce Power and some of the other local businesses in that to help offset the costs. The cost for this event is about $8,000. So, and the ticket sales will be, by the time it's all said, will be around $25,000. So if the more we can get, obviously, in sponsorship money, the better.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yes, and it all works out. But our budget, up until this year, our budget is basically $100,000. So if we can get a quarter of it coming from one event, that really helps a lot.
A big thing. Yeah,
it is. And so this has been really our primary money maker in essence, but also a way of us to get to know the community and the community get to know us as well.
Yeah. I think that's a big part right now. That's what I'm thinking about anyway, is the community getting to know you're here.
Yes.
Because a lot of people know you're here, but they don't know what you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm as guilty as anybody. Like I said, I would walk by and think, oh, bridge, okay. Didn't really understand what it was all about.
Yeah.
And then I started looking into it, and I thought, geez, this is something that needs to be brought into the forefront. More people need to know what's going on. Because let's face it, there's always a need for this. Now, where are you having this Valentine's Day?
So it's at the Pavilion here in Kincardine.
Oh, okay, Pavilion, yeah.
Yeah, right down at the lake. Now, that's a little bit strange considering it's the middle of winter, but it's still pretty good down there. Gorgeous place.
It is.
I love the Pavilion, and it just has the right ambiance for us for what we're trying to do.
They have a lot. It's a big old building.
Yes.
The Rotary Club, Kincardine Rotary, puts on a big picnic there. Well, they call it a picnic because it's in the summer and it's for seniors.
Yes.
And they love going. I mean, this building is just beautiful. It's all wood. I don't know how long it's been there, but people are saying, oh yeah, we used to come here when we were kids, go dancing.
Yeah.
So a lot of them know the building. And it's beautiful.
Oh, it is.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
Now, the new year's coming. What do you got coming up for 2025? This will be your, let's see, 7th year?
Well, we'll be going into our 7th year, and in June it'll be 7 years. The new stuff is with our food store, of course, and getting it going in, and that actually has exceeded already our expectations.
So
good or bad, in a sense, it is bittersweet. And I think you would use that word before about it. I mean, I wish we didn't have to do food stores, but we do, and certainly people are coming in and using our store, and that's great in that sense. We hope to be doing a lot more. We're going to be offering cooking classes, free cooking classes, and we're going to be working with a number of the other agencies in the area to make sure that happens. And we're going to be very creative about it and a bit fun to make it fun for people. What we want to be able to do is help people who are coming in here, once again, you're creating community by getting people together. The other thing that we want to do is help to help them with meals that are simple, nutritious, and without necessarily a lot of meat in it, because that is one of the more expensive parts. From there, we want to then talk more about making gardens and things like that, vegetable gardens.
That's good.
And kind of creating that whole atmosphere of literally from your garden to your, to be able to eat. And so we want to be able to do that as well.
And making a meal for one person.
Yes.
Because that's a big thing. I know some single people, and I say, well, if it's just you, why are you making such a big meal? And they say, well, it's what I want, for one thing, and why should I not eat it just because there's nobody else to share it with?
Exactly.
So, there's things like that. So it's a good idea to have something like that.
Yeah, and I think that works. The other thing we're going to be doing, because we have really grown so much over the last few years, what we want to be able to do is put a little bit more structure into dropping at the bridge.
Yeah.
And I'm getting older, as they say. I'm 72 now. So
me too.
So I'm like, eventually I may retire. I don't know. But,
I already tried that once. It didn't work.
We'll see where that goes. But we are looking at putting in the structure to kind of help, but offload some of the work that I'm doing. And because there's a fair amount of work to it.
Well, you've got a lot of good volunteers here.
We have some great volunteers.
Somebody remember his name? I don't know if I've ever asked him. Gentleman with Blossom.
Oh, that was Art.
Art.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to him earlier, and he spends a lot of time here.
Oh, he does. He's one of our first volunteers, and just absolutely loves it.
And they said he practically lives here.
Yes, he does.
That's a volunteer. That's a dedicated volunteer.
Yeah.
So in the new year, there's you just want new ideas, I guess.
Yep.
Get new ideas. Donations, big thing. Donations.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of volunteers, but I imagine you could always use more at those big holiday meals, things like that. There's always
we always need more volunteers. It's an ongoing process. I mean, I expect over the next few months we'll probably be close to 100 volunteers actually.
That's amazing. I would have never guessed that without looking at your website.
It's kind of like a small organization from the outside, but it's become a village. It really has.
That's great.
And that's an important part about it. And then also as a charity, we have our charitable status now, so that we are able to write donation receipts for people who do want to donate.
Just remember, it's all non-profit. They have to do this themselves to get a little bit of help from different organizations, businesses, which is wonderful to hear, like how No Frills has this. And I'm sure some of the other businesses in town would help.
Yep.
I'm sure they would.
Oh, absolutely.
It's something you have to look at. You got to go to the website and just see all the different programs, because some of your kids may want to do this and they don't know it's here. Maybe they have, or a parent. You may have a family member that would like to get involved in something like this, even if it's just coming down and enjoying themselves. So it's something you got to think about. Wes, thank you so much for this interview. I'm amazed at what goes on here, and you'll definitely hear me
well, thank you.
cheering you guys on, because you're doing a great job.
Great. Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
No problem. Maybe we'll talk to you in the new year.
Sounds great.
New year. This is a new year.
Yes.
Thanks very much for tuning in. If you have any ideas that you want to talk about, please email me at conversationwithkaren@gmail.com. Love to get new ideas. I've had people message me and say, hey, can we talk about this? No problem. So we'll be back next month, but this will be on a month. So have a look and just see what's down here. Thanks so much, guys. See you all.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye now.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Missing your favorite channels? Get them on Rogers Xfinity TV.
I will do whatever it takes to win.
I'm gonna get you your dream house here.
Is there a
crocodile in there?
Oh my gosh.
Oh god, oh god!
Oh my god.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.